What's down? It's your boy Zell May, and of course I'm here with.
Well, normally it's classic Ruby, but today, because I told you I'd wear this shirt, it's the Fresh Princess. Oh, what's up? How you doing? What's up? What's good? What's happening? What's popping this lovely Thursday, where Ruby is now officially 1 year older and 1 year wiser, and I've calmed down a lot, guys. You know, I mean, in all of my old age, right? It's just I feel more grounded and in perpetuity. Do you understand? How are you feeling after your birth celebrations? Are you feeling any older and wiser? I have to put my pinky up because that's what mature people do. Yeah. You feeling any older and wiser?
I feel a little more tired. A little more cranky.
That's about it, huh? A little more tired, a little more cranky. My back hurts a little more.
Everybody calling me. The doctor telling me the fibs out here.
Mm. Do you have any impulses to yell at them kids for playing on your lawn, or
maybe they come down? You'll tell my cousin to slow down the 4-wheel. Slow down that 4-wheel and just be driving across the street.
Pretty much, yeah. But that's what happens when you get old, y'all. I'm warning you. Just saying. Just saying. Yeah, but listen. The reality is, as you know, both Zella and I had our birthdays this week. Mine was just yesterday. Technically, it's still ongoing. So basically, we were not doing a full news show today. It's just not gonna happen. Ruby does not work on her birthday. So yeah. So instead, we decided we want to have a discussion about some stuffs that come up and whatever. We're gonna have a whole discussion, and we are going to let y'all come up and speak your piece if you want to, as we're going through the subjects. If you want to jump up, speak your piece, we will have the link down there so y'all can come in. And yeah, it's going to just be a low-key, relaxed, cool. Let's just talk about, a few different trending topics that came up this week. Sound good? I think people like that. People really appreciate, our opinions and being able to voice their own. So I think it should be a good day.
Shit, it should be an amazing show. We're a year older. The first episode that we're both a year older. So we're gonna see how it goes. Is the energy gonna be higher or is it gonna be lower?
Boy, fingers crossed it's higher. I don't know. Well, let's just see. I guess what we'll have to do is we'll have to see the first topic and we'll just see how it goes. So what is the first topic, Sal?
The first topic today is The Rock surprises UFC fighter Themba Gorimbo with house as emotions flow. For a lot of people that are going to know, we're going to explain the story. It's a 9-minute video. We're going to watch it, and we're going to see what happens in it. But the story of Themba Gorimbo has moved many, including Hollywood star Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Gorimbo, a UFC welterweight, said in May, after his second fight with the promotion, that he only had $7 in his bank account and was struggling financially in the bout league. Then the post-news fight following his decision win over Takashi Sato at UFC Fight Night 224. Gorimbo said he only had money to get himself a plane ticket to MMA Masters in Miami and was living in the gym and sleeping on a couch. He was grateful for the victory and was eager to get back to his family in Zimbabwe. We're going to play the video. We're going to go ahead and play the Ross video talking about welcome home. Let's go do it from this screen. Not this. That's the wrong one. Which one is it? It's not. That is not it. All right, we're going to do it from this screen. We're going to still do it from here. I'm going to move this over. Changed it up at the last minute. But this is the video. This is his story.
I'll tell you when it happened, because I was in Zimbabwe. We had just finished building the ball, and we're going to meet the guy. And I said to my friend, I'm going to the shower to shower. Then as I went out of the shower, I saw a message from one of the guys from the management. It's like, did you see your Twitter? Then I said, what you mean? Then I say, and then I look up, then I see, oh, it's The Rock who wrote to me and say X, Y, Z. And I was like, what the hell, what's this? I didn't sleep that night, if I have to be honest. Wow, it's crazy what can happen when you are able to tell your story, who you can touch, who you can inspire. And yeah, it's a blessing, I just feel like, it's the life we live, man.
Oh my What's up, brother?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
By the way, I do want to, since this reaction thing is a thing now, I do want everybody to know this man has an amazing story right here that The Rock was touched by, and that's why he gave him the house. You're gonna hear a little bit more about it. I am gonna spoil a little bit. The introduction to this is that this man would give all his check to the people back in his home country of Zimbabwe, and The Rock saw that and was touched. So you're gonna hear more about the story as we go through.
Man, it's good to see you.
Thank you, man.
Brother. Good to finally meet you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, man. Thank you.
Oh, no, look,
You
bro.
inspire me to work hard, man. Thank you. No, I will become a champion. Trust me. Believe me.
Yeah, that's right.
Trust me.
I do.
Trust me. I work so hard. I already do.
Well, you know, I got to tell you, man, your story moved me. When I found out that you had $7 in your bank account, I know what that's like. I was here in Miami when I had $7, but then also, you know, you win your second fight, then you sell your fight kit. You buy a water well for your village in Zimbabwe so your people can have clean water. Because you could have taken that money, you could have put it down on a car, on an apartment, but you didn't. You took care of your people. And that just says exactly who you are. And that's why I flew all the way in, man, just to look you in the eyes, brother, and tell you I got your back.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Sir. I'll show you. Yeah, so I'll show you.
Show me.
When
Yes, show me where do you sleep at?
You know, when I lost my first fight, I couldn't stay in Africa and train more there, so I had to come here. Then I messaged Coach Velvede and said to him, can I come and train in Miami?
Yeah.
Then he said to me, brother, the rooms are not available at the moment. And I said, no, I will need to live here now. I need to come there. I can stay on the floor, mats or anything. Wow. Then he said to me, okay, I like that. You can come. So this is where I sleep.
This is your home?
Yeah. We're moving from Africa to come here with my family.
Yeah.
This couch is going with me wherever I'm gonna go now.
Oh yeah?
So at night I put it out like this. Then
This is a living situation. If anybody missed it,
during the morning
if anybody missed this, is a living situation where he just like sleep on the floor, sleep on the couch, do whatever, send all his money back home for the wells and everything. So that's just that, just to explain just in case you missed it.
put it back in.
Show me this, like my reason. I love that.
Yeah, my reason. I fight for my kids' smile. I fight for hope and change. I fight for those who believe in me. I fight for my village. I fight to inspire many. I fight to change mine and others' life. I fight to show God does miracles to those who believe. I'm hope, I'm change, I'm champion, and I'm blessed with my signature, yeah.
Wow, I love that you have that up, man.
Yeah, it's this one is the public one, but this one is the one that I keep. You know, this is my book. This one is my secret.
That's a personal.
Yeah, this is personal. You know, champion 2024. That's the year I want to become the champion in the UFC. That's next year. So I don't have a lot of time. I have to keep working hard, stay focused.
That's right. Yeah. It's so good to see you, man.
Yeah, thank you. It's very good to see
Hey,
you. It's a
Vando.
blessing, man. Thank you so
Good
much.
to see
brother.
you.
Thank you so
Well,
much.
listen, I got to catch a flight. But
All right,
before
all
I
right.
leave, I
Yes,
want to jump in the car with me. I want to take you to a buddy of mine. I want to introduce
All right,
you.
cool, man.
And I want you to get to know him. He's really nicely connected in our community
no problem,
in
man.
Miami.
Yes.
But this, for you becoming a little late, this is a man, a UFC fighter, who basically gives all his money to his family back in Zimbabwe. And so he basically lives like in these training offices, and he only like has $7 in his bank account because all his money goes back to his homeland. And The Rock, he's meeting The Rock, and The Rock about to bless him. So we just want to see some Ebony Excellence and people that actually do good for people.
And I want you to get to know him.
All right.
And then after that,
All right, blessing.
I'll hop on a
thank you.
plane.
Yeah, you made me cry now. You see, you guys.
thank you guys. Thank you guys. Where are we looking? Right here.
You take as many.
Yeah, come on, man. I'm going to introduce you to my boy. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is really such a beautiful thing. You got a great human being there, man. Yeah? All right, we're over here. Here we go. All right, bye, coach. Bye, guys.
Bye. Cheers, coach.
Bye.
I'll see you later. But thank you so much. Thank you for coming to see me, man. Thank you. It's really an honor, man. Thank you. You know, I'll tell you, you know, I used to walk 10 kilometers to go watch WWE on Saturdays and Sundays.
Where was that, in Africa?
In Africa, in Zimbabwe.
What weight class are you?
170.
Nice.
Yes.
It's my weight class.
No way. How much do you weigh?
About 260 when I was 12. Yo, Jay. Got a lot of people. Yo, Jay. Look at those pictures over there. Isn't that cool?
So like Sadio Mane.
That's his family.
It's my
It's
family.
his family.
Oh my God.
So, hey, I wanted to bring you here. Isn't that great? So, Themba, I don't know anybody who lives here. I wanted to come here. I wanted to bring you here. I wanted to look you in the eye, and I wanted to tell you, welcome home.
Oh my
He gave
God.
him the house.
Thank you so much. Thank you, brother. Man, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, man.
Oh, brother. Like I said, man, I was so moved by your story. When I found out you were sleeping on the couch in the gym, now there's no more couch sleeping. This is your house. Welcome home.
Thank you so much.
Now you can bring your kids here, man. You're welcome. So listen, this place is yours. You don't have to think about anything.
Thank you, man.
The only thing you think about is your family, getting them over here, getting them with you, and your training and becoming champion.
Thank you so much, man. I will become a champion. Trust me. You can shake my hand on it. I will become your champion. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Let me show you around your place.
Oh,
Come on.
oh, nice house. Thank you so
Right?
much. Oh my God.
This is
Wow.
guest room
Oh my God.
for the
Oh,
family. So I think your kids, right, can be in here.
Thank you. Yes, definitely.
Of course.
Oh my God.
This is your room.
Oh.
This is amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
This is an amazing story that The Rock did for this man. It's amazing what he
Thank
did for his
Yes,
people
dude.
back
Oh
there.
my
He
God.
gave
I
him
know
his
you
whole
already had
shit.
training gear and the workout stuff, but now you got all your workout stuff here too as well. It's all Project Rock
Are you
stuff.
kidding me?
I've worn this for 8 workouts. I've never washed it. It's going to be perfect for you.
You cannot fit this
No,
stuff.
no, this is yours. It's all
Oh
yours.
my God. I'll tell you now what I'm gonna do. Because you got me this house. I was supposed to get a house to come here and stuff. The money that I was gonna use for the house. I'm going to build another borehole in my village now when I land in Africa. I'm gonna build it because we need another one. So I'm gonna go build that one with the money that I was supposed to use for this. And I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Give money, you get something, you give it back to other
back.
people. That's a
Oh,
blessing. Always a
man.
blessing.
Oh, and Cheetos. I can have them, right?
Yeah, man.
It's an amazing story, by the way.
Look at these guys.
Here, you know what? There's one more thing we got to do. Here, let's walk out back. Check this view out. You're in the water, baby.
Wow. Wow, man.
Look at this. Isn't that
Yeah,
cool, dude?
I know. Thank you. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you.
So, Themba, this is a special Terramana toast to you. It's a pleasure and a privilege to finally look you in the eye and meet you, shake your hand, give you a hug, and share this moment in the rain. In the Polynesian Islands, rain is a blessing.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So this is a blessing for
It's
us
a
right
blessing.
now. Cheers to, as the rain comes down, cheers to always taking care of people.
Thank you. And thank you for the help, man. Thank you
Cheers,
so much.
brother.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody. Woo! Nice and rainy.
Thank you.
Nice. Rain is a blessing, even when it's coming down like a son of a bitch. And welcome home.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Welcome
man.
home. Man, that was awesome and amazing. And now I understand when they tell me how big his heart is and what a wonderful human being that man is. And now I got to experience it firsthand. Again, I can't say this enough about the guy. Is the guy works his ass off. He has such a singular focus and a goal. And he's sleeping on the couch in the gym. He's so committed. And so, again, I am lucky and blessed to be able to shake that man's hand and be a very, very small part in his $7 journey. All right. I gotta hop on a bird, and now I gotta fly to see my babies. Don't jump in there, because Barracuda love black people. I tried once, they ate me there.
Yeah, thank you. There's alligators in there?
Yeah, find out. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm not getting there.
But that's basically the end of the video. Amazing story. The story of this guy who come from Zimbabwe, Themba Gorimbo, who basically would spend all his money to build like homes and wells over there in Zimbabwe, and he was saving up for a house. The Rock blessed him with a house. So he said, "I'm gonna build another one because they really need it." So an amazing story. Even in the story, you saw somebody give somebody a blessing, and the first thing they do is like, "Oh, I'm gonna give back the blessing." So it's always amazing to see stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Definitely a nice, heartwarming thing. I mean, it's always good to see. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I don't really think. I mean, there's no way this is controversial, right? Like, there's no way there's someone in the chat saying, "Nah, they should never do stuff like this. That guy didn't deserve nothing," right? Like, there's not, right? Like, I really hope there's no controversy here. I think we're all in agreement.
Yes.
Hopefully, or are we going to have one of those issues where they're like, "No, the Rock is just trying to get clout. He's not a good person," like they do to Mr. Beast. I don't know, right? Because
we need a super liberal in chat.
Yeah,
He
maybe
should give back all his money and then give everybody home.
Exactly, right? Because I mean, I don't know, maybe that's what it is, but to me, it seems like, hey, if it's your money, no matter how much people think you shouldn't have earned that much or blah blah blah, people feel ways about stuff. It doesn't matter if it's your money, and you can do whatever you want with it, and you choose to do something good, like give to others. Then I think you're pro in my book. I mean, there might be some argument about whether or not we can call The Rock Ebony Excellence. I feel like who we claim under the one drop rule wildly varies depending, but it's cool.
He did call himself black in the video.
No, and he always does. I don't know.
That's always a touchy subject. We could discuss it one day, just because it's certain mixed people that be like, "Yeah, I'm black," and then some be like, "No."
Right. Exactly.
So it's always an interesting topic. But I see Vonda came in the chat. Shout out to Vonda. Shout out to everybody in the chat just watching. I know this is like a laid back show. Again, if you want to join the discussion, you can. It's right. The link is in the pinned tweet. So if you want to join, click that StreamYard link and join, and you can talk about anything we talked about today. It's gonna be a little short day. We just hanging out, talking the day after our birthday. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's get to something a little more controversial then, because both of my things are definitely slightly more controversial, shall we say? Okay, and so the first thing I won't say controversial necessarily. I mean, I think our audience might all agree on it, but controversial in the world, I don't know. But the first thing we're going to talk about from Ruby's side is this whole Lizzo situation, which I think is just fascinating. So I don't know if y'all missed it, right? Lizzo is currently now this body positivity and health at every size and whatever, she's like the #1 advocate, right? Well, she is now being called out as being a body shamer, amongst other things. Now, I don't know. Y'all are going to have to tell me, because I didn't have much time to do that much research, considering yesterday was my birthday, and we all know I don't work on my birthday. Technically, it was my birthday until 7:50 p.m. today, because I was born at 7:50 p.m. yesterday. Anyway, point is, so y'all are going to have to let me know if these people are from the TV show. Because if you didn't know, Lizzo had a TV show, the Big Girls one, where you're like auditioning to be one of her backup dancers. And I'm pretty sure at least this girl is from the show. Like, I'm pretty sure I recognize her, but I don't know. But let's listen to now what these women say their experience of Lizzo and these terrible allegations were.
You were experiencing, what you led you experienced was not normal.
A lot of things that were going on, it took me a really long time to figure out that it was wrong. It took me actually until leaving the camp that I figured out that everything that went on was bad, because I just chalked it up to, oh, Lizzo might be a diva, or, this is just the industry. This is what we go through. Me personally, looking at the response from Lizzo was so disheartening, because she was there. She was there. And to fix your hand to write on a piece of paper that you that you discredit everything we're saying is incredibly frustrating. The facts are the facts, like Crystal said. Was I pressured to touch a new performer? Yes. Was I brought into a private meeting where I was kind of interrogated about my personal matters and ended up having to share very personal things about myself regarding my weight? Yes. The list goes on. Were we pressured to do an excruciatingly long rehearsal that turned into a re-audition for the job that we already booked? Because apparently we weren't doing good enough. Yes, that is true. During that...
Oh no, I didn't mean to do that.
When my home smells fresh,
I'm so sorry.
I feel at ease, which is why I use...
Really? You're not gonna let me go backwards? Like, that's not fair. Oh, it's an ad, that's why. Okay, let's pretend the ad's not happening right now. I'm gonna tell you what I was gonna say when I was trying to pause, but apparently I haven't figured out how to use... Listen, I told you I don't work on my birthday, okay? It's not my fault. However, I'm gonna tell you guys why I was trying to pause, because what I was gonna say there at that moment is, this is why I think it's the TV show, because I remember actually...
At what point did...
some of the things that they're saying, I swear I've seen it. I've literally seen scenes like that, right? Where Lizzo basically thought that they weren't committed or devoted enough, basically, and then would make people perform harder and harder and harder. And in essence, yeah, they were just re-auditioning for the job they already thought that they had, in essence, right? That they had already gone through. Or again, being interrogated about your weight and why you're overweight and whatever. Again, I saw these things happen on the TV show. So that's why I'm wondering, like, are they really talking about something independently, or are they talking about the TV show and how they were treated on reality TV? Because it seems like, to me, they're talking about how they were treated on reality TV and then just trying to extend that to, yeah, she did this to us all the time. Like, I don't think Lizzo took that much out of her time to talk to these people. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I don't think she bothered with any of them. And shout out, thank you very much, Mr. DJ Music. I see my happy birthday, Ruby. But listen, I'm mature and wiser now, so I'm not gonna be derailed by happy birthday to me. I'm gonna focus. Anyway, okay. But for real, so I think that these girls, they might be talking about the TV show, but let's keep listening.
Interrogated about my personal matters and ended up having to share very personal things about myself regarding my weight. Yes. The list goes on. Were we pressured to do an excruciatingly long rehearsal that turned into a re-audition for the job that we already booked? Because apparently we weren't doing good enough. Yes, that is true. During that excruciatingly long re-audition process, was I under the impression that if I left the stage, I would be fired? Yes. Did I, unfortunately, go to the bathroom on myself on stage because I was so terrified? Yes. There is... in a court of law, I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, I don't know anything, but I know that if you ask someone to tell the truth, these things will come out of her mouth. If you have to say yes or no to these questions, she has to say yes because they are true.
You really think that she was going to resort or could resort to physical violence?
Yeah, I do. And I mean, the facts of that were that she actually balled up her fist like this to me. She started cracking her knuckles, and she was like, "You're so effing lucky that basically I'm not gonna hit you." And I was in shock watching her do that and cracking her knuckles and acting as if she was gonna come at me. And for a second I was like, I don't think she's gonna do that. Like, that's not what's gonna happen. But the fact that one of her dancers, all of us were present, all the dancers were present for mostly all of these allegations. And in that meeting that we had where she got physical and was about to assault me, her best friend, who's also one of the dancers, had to jump out of the couch and physically hold her back from coming and hitting me.
Now, after what had been a
Now, here's the thing, right? I'm not trying to say nothing about this girl, but I remember thinking it. Again, I might be confusing her with someone else who's this kind of complexion that was on the TV show, although I really think it's her. However, this is a problem sometimes when you get the cross-cultural interaction a little bit, right? Is because like that thing, I'm gonna crack my knuckles, you so lucky, girl, you so lucky, like that kind of foolishness, right? Like I just kind of feel like she took it seriously, but like I don't know, I feel like most Black women would not have. They would have been like, yo, try it then, or do it, right? Because it's like it's a lot of this. And she doesn't know that it's a lot of this because maybe in her culture, if people start doing stuff like that, they're really going to do you something. I don't think Lizzo's going to do anything to anyone, but not that I'm saying that the behavior is appropriate, right? Like I'm not saying that, but I honestly believe that this one was actually like traumatized, right? The other one, okay. So y'all are dancing and you decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wet myself in public. You're like, bro. And like,
was it the wet herself, or did she do something else?
Well, she said wet herself. She said
okay.
She did, right? I mean, maybe it was the other thing though. I don't know. Maybe it was the other thing. I don't know, right? We don't read minds over here. However,
Lizzo versus Ruby 2024 boxing match sponsored by Overall Entertainment, maybe.
Dude, like, but what are you really thinking to yourself in that moment? Like, this was because you did this to yourself. Like, they didn't tell you you can't go to the bathroom. You just assumed that if you went to the bathroom, you'd lose the job. Y'all had such low self-esteem, you didn't feel the need to get that point of clarification before you pushed yourself and held it for so long you wet yourself while on stage dancing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's a lot of like self-esteem issues here and self-worth issues, and they're projecting a lot of it onto Lizzo, but like those self-esteem issues exist inside of them also, right? Again, not saying that the behaviors are all correct or whatever. I'm just saying I feel like there's something else here. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, music, right? You'd quit. Any person with any type of rationale would just quit. They'd be like, yo, excuse you? I'm going to the bathroom. Okay, well then fire me then, but I got to go to the bathroom. So it is what it is. I'll be back when I go to the bathroom. If y'all want to fire me at that point, oh well, deuces, right? Like, but you know,
that's what 31-year-old me, 18-year-old me would have just did it on the floor and just said, fire me, you want to.
No, I have too much self-love and self-respect.
Shout out to young crazy me, but older me would never do that. He's too mature for that.
No, even when I was young, like no, I'm not wetting myself. Like I love
not myself. I'm just gonna do it on the wall just to prove a point.
Oh God, I still wouldn't do that though, because to me that would still be reflecting poorly on you or like on me, on whoever does it, right? So you would be like, haha, it's in their face, but it's not. You're spiting yourself to spite them, and the person who it reflects badly on is you. And when they blackball you from the industry and say that it's because you peed on the wall or whatever, you did, right? And they'll have evidence of that. So in essence, you spite yourself to spite them, but the only person you really hurt is you. So like, I wouldn't do something like that.
I'm pulling Donald Trump and say I didn't do it.
I bet, because I'm sure there's no cameras anyway. Anyway,
no cameras in 2008. YouTube wasn't that big.
I bet. But okay, so let's listen to this, and then we are going to listen to the actual statement Lizzo made.
Notably lengthy silence. This morning, Lizzo responded to the lawsuit on Instagram, writing, in part, "These sensationalized stories are coming from former employees who have already publicly admitted that they were told their behavior on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional. I take my music and my performances seriously because at the end of the day, I only want to put out the best art that represents me and my fans. With passion comes hard work and high standards."
Okay, so that...
Forget bear cubs.
There you go. So that is the first part of being able to hear the statement, right? So let's listen to, because this gives us a little bit more. And I really like, to me, like that first statement, it kind of sounds like her publicist maybe wrote it or something. But the way that they explain her statement here, I'm like, it really sounds like this was what Lizzo said, and she did it in a way I can already see where she's going with it. I can already see what line she's gonna pull, so that way she ends up walking away being the victim and whatever, and she ends up being the kind of one that you can't attack and you can't blame. But let's take a listen.
Lizzo is speaking out against the sexual harassment and hostile work allegations leveled against her. 3 of Lizzo's former dancers sued the pop star and her production company, Big Girl Big Touring Inc., and accused them of subjecting the dancers to a hostile work environment and sexual harassment, even claiming they were pushed to engage with nude performers. The Grammy-winning singer posted a lengthy statement to Instagram on Thursday, writing, "I am not here to be looked at as a victim, but I also know that I am not the villain that people and the media have portrayed me to be these last few days." When addressing the claims, Lizzo called the past few days gut-wrenchingly difficult and overwhelmingly disappointing. These sensationalized stories are coming from former employees who have already publicly admitted that they were told their behavior on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional. The statement continued, "I am very open with my sexuality and expressing myself, but I cannot accept or allow people to use that openness to make me out to be something I am not." To read Lizzo's full statement, head to thr.com. And for the latest entertainment news and updates, keep watching the last few days.
So let's look at this, right? So the full statement. Not here to be looked at as a victim, but I also know that I am not the villain that people in the media have portrayed me to be the last few days. I am very open with my sexuality and expressing myself, but I cannot accept or allow people to use that openness to make me out to be something I am not. There is nothing I take more seriously than the respect we deserve as women in the world. I know what it feels like to be body shamed on a daily basis and would absolutely never criticize or terminate an employee because of their weight, right? Look at how many different little things Lizzo hit on, right? So she hit on the haze and body acceptance, whatever. She pulled on that because that's, her main base, right? But look what else she hit on. So she hit on feminism, right? And women, come on, I'm a woman and we're all women, da-da-da. But she also hit on what community, y'all? The LGBTQ community, of course, because now she's just so open with her sexuality and whatever, and people just want to attack her and drag her down and try to make her into something she's not, all because, they're just such bigoted people. The Black community is so bigoted. So that's what this is about, right? That's what she's doing. That's what this statement is doing. So she's already running her game. She's already running the hustle to, she has literally hit against the people speaking out against her in every possible way, right? And now she's got this statement that she's worked out to say, oh yeah, you want to claim you're a victim? Guess what? I'm going to make you terrible for saying all these things about me. That's what she did. I think it's wild. Just absolutely wild. What do you think, Zal?
I do. I think she hit everything you want to hit. If you want to play like the victim card, I know what it's like to be shamed for my weight. I'm open about my sexuality. I'm like, no one said nothing about that. I don't know why that's. Well, technically, they did have something to say, because if that story they said is true, is wild about what they said. There is other people who came out after and told stories. Sophia Nolly Allison came forward after the lawsuit and said she quit, as DJ Music said, after working with Lizzo for 2 weeks, and said, I'm not doing this no more. So apparently somebody did quit. So they were like, nope, I'm not dealing with this. There's a slew of old dancers too from different years. Courtney Hollandquist, who said she was once a member of the dance team, said, yeah, that's about right. Lizzo former creative director Quinn Whitney Wilson reaffirmed it. So this is her creative director. Let's see who else is it. Representative for Lizzo said it. So it's people that work with her at different times also saying she wild what she did, and some of those allegations were.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, but that's the thing. What were you expecting to get yourself into? Because not only do you look at where the woman was born and raised and whatever, but look at the way she behaves, right? Like, she's the kind of woman who will wear intentionally assless chaps, right, to like some type of basketball game, stand on a chair and wiggle that very broad backside of hers, right, in the middle of like a game where there's children and whatever and blah blah blah, wiggling around, twerking like it ain't nobody's business. And then when people are critical of her behavior, she has no problem getting onto a camera and crying and pretending that she's the victim, right? Like, that's the kind of person you're dealing with. Why did you think that she was some fount of positivity and supportiveness for the world? She's not. She's an attention whore. Like, period, point blank. She's an attention whore who's low key or high key, depending, delusional. Like, that's Lizzo. Like, I'm so the only reason why no one's come out before is because they're probably scared of her. Because, like I said, she is devious, right? Look at this one statement, and that one statement's not even a lot long. She hit on every conceivable point. Like, bro, she's covered herself, LGBTQ covering, right? Black woman covering, right? Fat covering. The amount of covering she just put over herself is wild. And then you realize, oh my God, she's been doing this the whole time. Oh my God, she has so many different communities. So even if I try to attack her on this community, then there's so many other communities that are just going to support her, right? When they're saying they were made to touch naked dancers or whatever, again, I'm pretty sure they're talking about the TV show, and they absolutely were, because I saw it. So I don't know. They still wanted to be one of her dancers. They did it. They had the choice not to. They chose to do it anyway. And then they chose to continue being dancers and fighting for their spot. So, like, I'm confused. If you were made to do this in the competition level, why would you not think you'd have to continue doing stuff like this? Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying Lizzo's right, but I'm saying, like, what did they expect? Like, did they honestly think when the show was done, the lights, the cameras turned down, well, that's it, Lizzo's now going to morph into someone different? Like,
she might have. Yeah, y'all embolden her so much. Sometimes, like, I asked this on Twitter the other day. If y'all follow me, 99_LMA, and I think I retweeted on I'll Be That News. So go follow that link tree, and the StreamYard is in the pinned tweet. But I asked her the other day, when does just being an advocate for somebody allows you to be a doormat? Because when I saw this, I thought about them like, there's everybody like, oh, we don't want to talk to her because she's a black woman and she's a big woman and everybody gonna accuse me of this. I'm like, okay, you're an advocate for her, but she do bad behavior. How long is it before we be so much of an advocate we become a doormat that we'll just allow people who fit certain descriptions to do whatever they want?
well, that's the thing. What are you an advocate for? Are you an advocate for Lizzo or for something that you agree with Lizzo about, right? So, for example, and I'm sorry, I know we're talking about women, but I gotta do this one. If you are, for example, a red pill advocate, right? Then you should be advocating for red pill, not for the people who also are red pill advocates. That is to say that if somebody does something that is not very red pill of them, you shouldn't be supporting them because they say they love red pill too. Be like, no, because then you're not a red pill advocate. You're an advocate of that person, right? So you have to figure it out. Do you want to be an advocate of a particular movement or message, or do you want to be an advocate of particular people? Do you want to just be best friends with people and you don't really stand for much, or do you stand for something so you don't fall for anything? I don't know. But it seems like no one can figure this out. And so, they want to kiss the booty of very dysfunctional people who behave in very dysfunctional ways and cry with those people and, oh, you poor thing, we get you, girl, until it turns on them and all of a sudden they're upset. And I just don't understand the upset part. You knew what she was about. She let us all know. Like, bro, that's what I've got for this one. Lizzo's wrong, sure, but y'all are wrong too. So
okay, we got
get your bag though. Get your bag. Okay.
I do see one of the things Davis said Lizzo was chanting her name, pressuring to touch this new performer, even though David said no multiple times. David said she eventually gave in and did it. I briefly touched the performer and everyone started laughing. It was funny to them because me, of all people they see as a very modest person, me touching a new was hilarious to them. David said, adding that she was mortified. And she was known as the Christian of the group. She was a team captain. So they basically like, oh, it's funny because we made the Christian. It sounds like high school bullying that you probably don't have to participate in because it's no clicks no more.
So, TV show. That sounds like something that happens. No, I'm not even saying it because I watched the TV show. So it sounds like something that happened in the TV show. I don't remember all the details, but as you're saying, I'm like, I really feel like that's something that happened in the TV show. And they weren't completely naked. They were just like, like the way you'd be naked on a stage, right? Like, so men, they're really, really buff. They got nothing on and except for like a little bikini bottom or whatever. And she was really uncomfortable. Yes. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, this is all from the TV show. So that means these people competed way before the show came out last year. They competed, they won. Okay. Then the stuff got aired. They were already on tour with Lizzo at that point. That means they already did all this stuff, agreed that it was worth it. They wanted to do it. At any point, they could have just not did it. Would they have lost their spot? Maybe. But there are certainly people who made it to the finals or actually got in, whatever. And at some point, there was a line they wouldn't cross. So whose fault is it that you crossed lines you're uncomfortable with?
That is true. Yeah, people gotta start having self-respect, y'all. We talked about clout a little bit on Monday. It kind of derailed into happy birthday most of the time, but shout out to that. Yeah. But we did talk about clout, so just doing everything just for, oh, I want to get on, I want this career, I want to be on TV, I want to do this. Shout out to Shar for finding her glasses.
Now she just need to find a phone. Poor thing. Shar, it's not your day.
But yeah, so what do you do for clout? How much would you do? How much would you endure? You the Christian woman, okay, touch this naked dude then. Mm-hmm. You gotta do it if you want this spot. You did it.
But it's not just her. Everyone had to do it.
Yeah.
She was the one who had a problem with it. No one else had a problem. It's not something that everyone would have a problem with. No, but if you have specific beliefs, you had a problem with it. You could have chosen not to do it. Of course, it wouldn't make sense to hire you if you're uncomfortable with some parts of the job. If you don't like the fact that these are parts of the job, don't have this job. Like, it's not complicated to me. And that's where I'm like, no, to me, you're not a victim for some of these things because you chose them.
I'm a super quitter. If you don't do something I like, I'll just leave. I might not even tell you I'm gone. Hey, Zell, it's your turn. Where's Zell at? You left. Mm-hmm. You left an hour ago. And then I had 3 phone calls. Hey, where you going? I thought you want to do this. No. Nope. You ain't making me go driving 14 hours time I got to do it in an hour. Nope, we ain't doing that. No, I'm a quick no. I'm a quick no. We'll find something else tomorrow.
I don't know. That's about all I had to say about the Lizzo thing. So what's up next on the docket?
We got a story from Alicia Navarro.
Okay.
So we got Alicia Navarro. Let's move my camera out this way. Okay, Alicia Navarro argued with man, yet I will go back just one day before reappearance. So we see what happened. If y'all know who Alicia Navarro is, she was a 15-year-old girl, I believe, who happened to disappear in 2019. She just reappeared. Somebody said they saw her with an argument and all this stuff. So we're gonna see the video after she came back to the police, and we're gonna read the story, and then we're gonna discuss Alicia Navarro, what we think about this story. So let's go watch.
Did anybody hurt you in any way?
No, no one hurt me.
Okay, because our goal is we just want to make sure that you're safe.
I understand that.
This part is muted for some reason.
Thank you very much for talking with us.
Of course. Thank you for offering help to me.
Yes, ma'am. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
The debate is going to come in. We're going to get to it in a minute that I wanted to discuss on this because it's interesting. Shout out to Dunteezy for being large and in charge. The 18-year-old girl who went missing from Arizona in 2019 and reemerged in Montana this week. This is on the week of July 29th, so it's just the last week. She was living and the man she was living with and threatened to go back just one day before she turned herself in at a police station. So apparently there's a lot more to this story because apparently she went to the police station in Montana, told them that she went back, and now I don't know. They actually muted in my video too, so I think they muted it for a reason, but we'll see when they get the crime thing going. Neighbors told the Post Saturday they heard a hold up Alicia Navarro shouting with an unidentified man inside their apartment building in Havre, a city roughly 40 miles from the Canadian border. I was here the other day and I heard them yelling. She did say, "I will go back," but that's all I heard. Neighbor Garrett Smith, 22, told the Post. It was the day before she turned herself in. Navarro sauntered into a local police precinct the following day to request that she be taken off the missing person list so she could get a driver license and could begin living a normal life. She had been missing since the police said she willfully left her home in Glendale, Arizona in 2019. It's not clear how long Navarro has been living in the Havre apartment, but Smith said she and a man in his 20s had been resident since he moved in about a year ago. So she's been there since 2021. Smith also said he spoke to Navarro for the first time when she claimed she was looking for her uncle near a post office only days before she went to a police station. She was asking for directions. She looked scared, he said, adding that it was clear she didn't know her way around the area. She said she was walking with her uncle and got lost. She's looking for 6th Street, Smith said. I later found out that she was referring to him as her uncle. Smith's girlfriend, Megan Alexander, 23, said they watched Navarro go into a random house and figured she had found someone who could help her. Navarro called Smith Mr., which the 22-year-old man found odd because he noticed she wasn't very much younger. He said the teenager appeared scared, had a scratchy voice and noticeably insufficient dental hygiene. Her braces looked pretty bad. She had braces on when she went missing in Arizona in 2019. It looked like she still had the same braces on, Smith said. Though the interaction was the first time he ever spoke to the missing girl, Smith estimates he saw her about 30 times while living in the apartment. I would see both of them walking out, he said, quite often. I think I saw them holding hands once when they were leaving. And this is her. Why did she leave? Alicia's mother, Jessica Nunez, previously raised concern that Navarro, who was diagnosed as high functioning on autism spectrum, may have been lured away by someone she met online. She is not facing charges. In 2019, the girl left her family in Glendale, Arizona, home in the middle of the night just a few days before her 15th birthday. Her parents found a handwritten note from Navarro said, I ran away, I will be back, I swear I'm sorry. These people, they were very shy, closed-off people. Smith had spoken to the man living with Navarro shortly after moving in last year, but the anonymous man began avoiding Smith after finding out he was from a city just 9 miles from where Navarro vanished 3 years prior. When I first moved in, he came up to me and asked me why I moved to Havre. I told him I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and after that, he got quiet and bridged off. He wanted to end the conversation almost like I don't want to talk about Arizona, Smith recalled. Feds and scores of cops were at the building on Wednesday, he said. Smith believes Navarro is still living inside. A woman who lives across the street says she was questioned by authorities on Thursday. At the end, they asked if I've seen a girl about 18 with dark, long hair. She, the woman who declined to give her name, she said the authorities gave a minimal description of the man, but she remembered them describing him as a heavyset. The couple described him the same way, said he's in his late 20s. Police said Friday that a man was detained and questioned in connection to Navarro's disappearance, though it is unclear whether it was the same individual she had shared the Havre apartment with. Navarro fled her family home just days before her 15th birthday, leaving behind a note, I ran away, I'll be back. A missing report from years prior described Navarro as autistic but high functioning. Navarro is still being considered a victim. Police previously said while the family private investigator exclusively told the Post Thursday that Navarro had only spoken briefly to her mother, but her intentions regarding whether she planned to return home was unclear. Navarro told the police she was not being held against her will and could come and go freely and said she had not been hurt. Police said that she does not face any criminal charges. So that is the interesting story in which we are now dealing with of Alicia Navarro, because I remember this case from 2019 about the little girl that was missing, and it was weird because she just ran away from home. I don't know if Ruby have any thoughts on what she thinks about this story, because it's very interesting, because again, we do have a case similar, and I do want to kind of touch on that too, about the Andrew Tate situation and how it's similar. And I wonder would people agree with that same sentiment, because Andrew Tate specifically said in these messages that he recently got that he got a girl from Slovakia who was 15, and apparently he had her as, oh, I love her, she's mine, she fell in love with me, I never did nothing with her, blah blah blah. And then he ends up, he's like 22, 23 doing cam work years later from like Slovenia, Slovakia, one of those countries over there. As she started out as 15, as we hear, his ring seems to do start at 15, and he isolates them from their family. He isolated from their family. They don't have nobody in a country they don't know. They don't know the language. They don't know the area. Which she, like they said when they talk about Alicia, she was all the way from Arizona to Montana, and she walking down the road and looked like she didn't know where nothing at, and she was looking for 6th Street. And if you ever seen like people that don't know where they're at, they like, oh, I just know this is where this is what in my head she's assuming like, oh, this is where the house I live in at. I don't go outside because he apparently might not let me go outside, but I'm outside now because we fighting. I'm older, and now I'm like, I'm going outside. You can't control me no more. And now she doesn't know anywhere where she's at, which could lead to a very dangerous situation of, yeah, you probably gonna do whatever they want because that's the same way the cam girls with the Tate situation. Everybody else here.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, it's probably going to come up next week because while Zella's gone, I've scheduled some things, and one of which is interviewing like a real traveler, not a passport bro, because he's not a child and thinks calling himself a passport bro would be pathetic. But just like a man who is Black and has traveled places, and right now he's in Budapest, Hungary. And it's just funny, the description, and our understanding of the way things are in different countries, and even just the way that we've been told things are based on the passport bros and whatever, very different. And so we are imagining, and the way that the Tates, for example, are talking about the girls in Romania and whatever, they're making you think of where you are, right? Somewhere in America or Canada, Britain, somewhere in the first world. And you're thinking about those circumstances and being like, come on. Well, I mean, based on those circumstances, this is ridiculous or whatever. But that's not the circumstances they live in. And you can't really fathom the depths of like the despair or the desolation or the hopelessness or even just what the culture's like for a lot of these women until you're in a country like that. Right? If you're in a situation like that, where like literally what's your option? Your option is to be sold, right? Or for you to sell yourself because there's no other way for you to make a way as a woman. And hey, if you can get under the, basically under a pimp who treats you well, gives you a nice quarters and whatever, then you're just happy because it becomes like this normalized thing for you. And so we're going to talk about like the conditions in Budapest, the real communist countries and stuff, and the way that those things are next week. But that's what, like, when I think about trafficking, that's why oftentimes when you're talking about trafficking, that happens either to Westerners, right? And then they're imported other places, right? Or that happens in the Western world, regardless, is that's what they first do, is they break you down to the same place that a lot of the women in, like, say, Eastern Europe and whatever are born into, right? They take you away from friends, from family, from access to anything. They tell you no one cares about you, everyone hates you, right? They break you down into like, so, and then like, it sounds crazy, but yeah, you could literally walk outside every day to phones and stuff like that. You would never pick them up and call. And people can't fathom stuff like that, right? That's why they like to call people liars and whatever, because they cannot fathom how a young person could be broken down, like literally broken down and demoralized to a point where they're just a walking shell of themselves, So that's why, like, I always err on the side of believing victims in trafficking cases. Just in general. It's like even with the Carly thing, until like the last moment with Carly, I was willing to believe to an extent, because a lot of times her stories don't make sense, right? And it's just because you're trying to look at it as like a healthy, whole person in the Western world. That doesn't make sense, but they're often not healthy, whole people by the time they get back to us. So I don't know. But I mean, then again, there's a difference depending on your race, let's be real, as far as whether or not people want to believe you or even want to give you that automatic credit without you saying a word, right? To just believe something bad happened to you and poor thing and whatever. There's certain complexion of people are just not automatic victims. And somehow or another, even when they are, we're always trying to find a way to blame them for their victimization. So I don't know. Those are definitely the thoughts that came across my mind. And I think more so from reading like the comment sections and stuff when people were talking about this. Right? And I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, I don't know. Like, I think that's what it is. It's like, I'm reacting really heavily to reactions. I think that's where my my main thing is all those reactions, because there's just so many people who they don't see Black people as victims. I'm gonna put it that way. It's true.
It is true. I also want, like I said, I wanted to bring this up because the parallels to the Andrew Tate situation is right there. The one girl that he brags that one of his top girls was literally 15. The girl that don't say, oh, the ones that I think one of them that he getting arrested with, I think was 15.
Well, but no one knows that.
Yeah.
That is speculations.
Yeah.
They're just going based on
But
his
he
whole
said,
stories about
the stories he said. Yeah.
But it's not about stories about her. It's just it has to do with him calling her the bottom bitch, right? And then him saying, I've been in business for 7 years. So like, wait a minute, if she's 22 now, then that means if she's bottom B, then you've had her since she was 15. But that's not like, I mean, it's not even in the criminal allegations or the charges. Like, so I feel like that's a little bit of a stretch. Now, I'm not saying he's a good person or he hasn't messed with 15-year-olds. In fact, we know that some of the charges do speak to him messing with underage girls and trying to or successfully trafficking underage girls. I'm just saying that I feel like that one was a little bit of a stretch because people are putting pieces together, but they don't know if she's been with him since she was 15.
It just I think people just he could be having another one that he used to have and he just said 7 years, but people like correlate that old video of him saying I had her 7 years with the one he got now. So what Ruby said is 100% true. So like he might not be referring to her. He might have replaced the other one. And then but like I said, I do want to do the parallels of how people react to her and like, oh, I'm glad she found and all that. I'm like, that guy doing the same thing over there. And it's not now this guy that's doing it here is not to the same extent. He probably found a little girl that he wanted and like, oh, she can come with me, little girl. Let's run off. And she's like, oh, I love him. And then she write the note to her mom, talking about, I'll be back. I'm sorry. I'm leaving. And then he take her away. She don't know nothing, which I always state when you keep saying you want inexperienced people, it gets very iffy when everybody keeps saying, I want somebody that don't know nothing. Because apparently from the neighbors, she didn't know nothing. She went outside. She said, I saw her come in and out. No issue. She didn't know nothing. She didn't know how to read roles. She didn't know what signs was. You gotta remember, she was taken when she was 15 by this. Apparently, I don't know if it's this dude, but somebody took her when she was 15 and rode off with her, and she drove far away from Montana to Earth, and that's just in America. It's not like some big old rain, but it's just one person manipulating a young girl to fall in love with them, take them somewhere away from their family so no one can say nothing about it, and then isolate them and make them convince them that I'm best for you. And apparently, according to the neighbor, she got tired, like, hey, I'm going back today. And apparently the next day she went to the police station. So, now, people overseas who come from another country don't have that avenue that they can just walk out and go to the police station and say, hey, I'm found. They from a whole different country with a whole different language and a whole bunch of stuff. So
that too. And I mean, I think that's one of the worst things. I mean, it's something that, we talk about when it comes to slavery, right? There's a difference when you take people away from their own country, their own culture, their own practices, their own everything, and you put them into a foreign land and you say, yeah, your language doesn't exist anywhere, culture isn't, like all the things that, this is how you function. They just don't exist here. You have to learn new ones, right? And it's like, oh, why don't you just run away? To where? Like, how are you communicating? Where were you going? How are you getting anywhere? Like, people don't think about the logic of that, is that if you import someone to somewhere else where the language is different, where the customs are different, where whatever,
no money.
You don't know. Yeah, no money, no way to even know how to dial out, because a lot of people don't realize, because they've never been anywhere, that if you travel outside of your home country, you have to know how to dial out. Okay. So for example, in North America, right, generally we want to call long distance like that, we dial 1, right? 1 plus the area code and then the 7 digits, right? But a lot of these places have country codes and this and that, and you have to dial all these extra things in order for you to get to the phone number. So you can't just dial 1 plus your area code and your 7 digits and think you're getting to call mama. That's not how that's going to work for you. And a lot of people don't know that. So to think, oh, well, she just got out. She could have just used the phone. She probably did try, and she probably couldn't get out. She probably tried to dial out, but unless someone teaches you, how the hell would you know how to dial out in some other country? Do you know what I mean? Like, people don't think about there's so many different layers to it that people just don't think of, unfortunately.
It is true. Unfortunately, most people don't think about how easy it is to get somebody from this place to that place. And it's, like I said, you saw it in the reports that they've been, if it's true, again, if those leaks are true from the message, he literally stated that she has no money, therefore she will do this because she has no other options. So she will get on this cam because how else she gonna get money to travel anywhere, even if she wanted to? She is stuck.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, technically, he said that he would never. I mean, I don't know, but again, I was gonna say no because he does say, well, I would support them or da da da. But then at the same time, the problem is then he sets it up so that way she would feel bad for asking him for anything because there's so many gold diggers trying to use all his money, right? So like people don't realize there's layers to it. Also, people don't seem to realize that he was literally teaching people how to actually traffic other people, and that other investigations in other countries even are going on, and some arrests are happening or impending in other countries now. So people are not realizing, like, no, what he was really doing, he's not getting away with it. All of the bullshit in all the world, all the lies he wants to tell in all the world, he's not getting away with it. So good luck. Good luck to, I'll say, everyone else who's in business with that man or you get out now and get out of that country that you're in. Selling people, if you, I'm not trying to help y'all get away with crime, but I'm telling you, you're all getting arrested. Every single one of y'all. Everyone who's in the war room, everyone's getting arrested. All of you. Especially if you decide to start the crime or you were aware of these crimes and you were saying, yeah, man, yeah, whatever. God forbid you received a picture. I'm telling you, you are all going to prison. All of you. So.
Because he can't help but self-snitching, have documents of everything he does. Self-snitching, which is very interesting. I'm like, man, why do you talk so much? I don't understand it.
Attention. He really likes attention and validation because they're telling him he's a real man.
It is true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I guess we're gonna now move on to our dating and relationship discussion. And this one is interesting. To me at least. I'm gonna play you two different videos because I mean, it comes, okay, listen. I'm going to start off by saying this. Can you turn a hoe into a housewife? Now, we just had this discussion on Gray Pill, and that's basically kind of what we're talking about. Like, can you turn a hoe into a housewife? I don't know. But what I'm going to do, we're going to listen to a couple different videos, okay? Something went viral today from Mia Khalifa. Mia Khalifa was telling us about what marriage is all about, according to Mia Khalifa. If you don't know who Mia Khalifa is, we will explain in a second. First, what we're going to do is we're going to listen to this woman. Now, this woman is a wife. Okay? She's Muslim, but she's a wife. Okay. And she went viral in January of this year for talking about what a husband is to her and, you know, what a healthy marriage is. So let's listen to her first. And then we'll talk a little bit about Mia Khalifa, and then we'll listen to her video. Okay, so let's take a listen.
My husband is my boss. My husband is number one. If my husband tells me, hey, sit down, I'll sit down. If he tells me you can't go out with your friends today, I'm not going to go out with my friends. Says,
okay, sorry, she's super gorgeous. Like, I am almost mesmerized by how shiny and beautiful and like huge and like gorgeous her eyes are. Like, it's almost shocking how beautiful her eyes are. But okay, sorry.
Hey, go wash this dish for me. I'm gonna go wash a dish for him. I chose this man to be the king of my life, and yes, I agree with everything he says, and I do everything he says. And I did that because I chose this man. I put him in this position of my life, and this is how I honor and take care of and love the man in my life. So I tell women out there, you want a man in your life, you want to be happy, figure out what you would do when you are happy. Because I am happy. My husband does so many great things for me, and I would do that for him. I obey him, I respect him, and I let him be the man that he is. I chose a man that I wanted to follow. I chose someone to lead me, and that's why I will do anything for him.
Now, what I love about this video, because she says, and it's so important, I chose this man. I don't like, and this is the thing I always find confusing about people, right? When they talk about, ain't nobody submitting to no black man and all the disrespect phrases and whatever. I'm like, but you're choosing people who are not worthy of respect and then saying, I won't give them respect. Why are you choosing those people? Why are you sleeping with people who are not worthy of respect? Why are you spreading it? Why are you producing children for people you don't respect, right? Like, if you can't even find a modicum of respect or trust or whatever, if you think this man has literally no leadership skills, no anything skills whatsoever, right? Then why are you engaging with that person, right? I've always found that really very confusing. However, as I'm sure you can imagine, while maybe the men appreciated this woman's message about her husband being her king, the women were not super happy. No, and I don't understand it, because it's the same thing as the song Catered to You. When Catered to You by Destiny's Child, it got ripped apart, I think it was last year, and they're talking about, oh my God, this is so misogynistic and whatever. And I'm like, she literally starts off by saying, I'm inspired by what you do. Like, literally, I just wanted to let you know. So it's like he's doing so much for her and in her life that she's inspired and wants to take the time to reciprocate. This is basically what the whole song is about, is reciprocation, as in you treat me like a queen and you uplift my life and you fulfill me, and so I want to do the same. And that's what this woman is saying, right? But no one can hear that. It's like, wow, she's misogynistic and well, no, this woman, Don TC, is actually really married. She's Muslim, right? So there is an element of the religion there that is different than, say, the way we see Christianity, right? But no, she's very happily married, not a skit. But now we're going to talk about Mia Khalifa. And so let's just show you Mia Khalifa right here. So this is Mia Khalifa. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Mia Khalifa. If you're not, I'll let you know. Mia Khalifa is she's got 27.7 million followers on Instagram. Okay. And apparently, according to her, she's got the best hits on Instagram. And that's why she's got all those followers. Well, August 3rd, just today, this former porn star, Mia Khalifa, she stunned social media when she offered her thoughts on marriage, insisting that it's not a sanctimonious thing and simply paperwork. So what's interesting about Clea, obviously, is that she has been married. Despite the fact that men in these spaces say that sex workers can't get married, Mia Khalifa has been married and chosen again and again and again. We'll hear a little bit of those details. But I just wanted to let you know, for those people who did not know who Mia Khalifa was, I wanted you to know who we're hearing from and why did this person's unsolicited, honestly, let's be real, opinion go viral today. Well, it's because she's the former porn star, Mia Khalifa. Okay, so now let's listen to what Mia Khalifa had to say about marriage, and then we will open up the discussion about it. Okay.
Oh, we're comparing stats. Baby girl doesn't know that I am Tom Brady at this game. Married at 18, divorced at 21. Second marriage, married at 25, divorced at 28. Third engagement, engaged at 29, ended it at 30, but I kept the ring. I'm still keeping Tom Brady on his toes. We should not be afraid to leave these men. We are not stuck with these people. Marriage is not a sanctimonious thing. It is paperwork. It's something, it's a commitment you make to someone. But if you feel like you're not getting anything from that commitment and you're trying, you gotta go. You gotta go. You have to go. I know it's difficult to fill out paperwork and to make appointments and to do all of these things, but this is your fucking life. Do you want to be stuck with someone? Period. Do you want to be stuck with? Oh, we're comparing stats. Baby girl doesn't know that I am Tom Brady at.
So that's what we've got. And obviously, I'm going to tell y'all something. The internet is not having it. Okay, it's not just men. The internet is not having Mia Khalifa, the former porn star who's been married twice and engaged another time. I'm trying to tell everybody that, oh, just leave the men and who cares about marriage? And marriage ain't nothing. They're just not having it. They're not. Okay. And I think part of the issue is because she's gotten it, right? She's gotten marriage again and again and again. And if you've gotten marriage twice in your 20s, and then a third engagement, and you have somehow or another, those have all ended poorly. Well, is the problem marriage? Is the problem men? Or like, are you the thing that all these relationships had in common, right? Is the problem marriage? Or is the problem people who are dysfunctional and do not know how to work together to make a relationship work, who don't learn from their mistakes in previous relationships so they can bring something better to the next relationship? Is the problem the fact that, hey, we want a lot of take and not a lot of give? Because the other woman looked very shiny, glowy, happy, delirious, wonderful, got treated amazingly, and she had no problem giving that back to her husband. My husband is my king. She had no problem saying it openly. She has no problem doing it. But that's because that's how she's treated. She is treated in a way that makes her deliriously happy, that makes her feel worshipped, makes her feel uplifted. And so she wants to reciprocate. And then we have on the other side, the Wiz Khalifas of the world, who see it as a game. And like Tom Brady, they win in if they could get multiple rings, multiple engagements, multiple marriages, and multiple divorces before they turn 30. I don't know. What do you think about all this, Sal? Because I don't know what to make of this. I just really don't.
Listen, be careful. You gotta. I always felt like when you're in a relationship, you have to have like that even yoke. You do it, it's like the biblical term, even yoke. Like you have to have something similar. So when I hear people say ridiculous things without that even yoke, even if they for marriage, I'm like, okay, none of your relationships gonna work out. They all gonna end horribly. It's something crazy gonna happen. For instance, I was watching Nico and what's his name, Myron, talk about, oh, why would we want anything in common with our woman? I'm like, so you're gonna live in a life where you have nothing in common with the woman you love. She's just supposed to do what you say, and she's supposed to be happy with nothing in common. Y'all can't talk about anything. You don't care what she has to talk about, because I don't care if we have anything in common. I don't care what she thinks. She's just supposed to be there. And I'm like, that's insane too. All of these ideas and saying you wonder why their relationships always are with Mia Khalifa types. All the relationship is like with the girl that might end up stabbing him in the future. I want to put that on the show just in case I'm right, just so I can like, yo, I proved it. But because I already told Ruby that, I'm like, he might be getting caught in his sleep. I'm just one of y'all. She that type. But I'm just saying, you end up in a relationship with those type of people because, again, without being yoked evenly, having something in common, having a relationship with somebody, even in your friendships, you want something in common. You don't have friends that you have nothing in common with. Like, even we might be associates, we might work together, but why on earth would we have anything in common? Why would I hang around you if you don't like nothing I like? I can't take you to a basketball game, you don't like basketball. I can't talk to you about sports, you don't like sport. I can't talk to you about books, you don't like books. All you want to talk about, let's see something I don't like. Something that don't interest me. Dentistry work. All you want to do is talk about your job. You're a dentist and all you want to talk about dentistry. I'm like, I do not care. So what we gonna ever talk about? We're not even gonna be friends because we have nothing in common. There's no relationship. There's no relation. In the relationship, we have nothing. And the way Mia Khalifa's speaking, she don't care about relation either. It's just a game, just to prove she can get a trophy.
Right. And I mean, see, but to me, she's the kind of person that proves these men right when they say talk about your body count, how your body count prevents you from being able to bond and whatever. I'm like, A, it's not true, right? But when women who are very overtly open about having a lot of partners, not just because she's a porn star, but just in general, like she said it, right? And when they're really, really open about that, and then they also talk about men and relationships like they're just toys in a game and who cares, or, you know, it's like, I don't know, man. This is you're exactly the kind of person that feeds this narrative, right? That hey women, you have more than 4 bodies on you. That's it. You can't pair bond anymore. Right? This is where they get it from. They get it from women like Mia Khalifa, right? Even though, honestly, let's be real, all of the research suggests that women have had on average 20 bodies in a lifetime, and yet somehow, and I mean, I'm talking about like for decades and decades and decades now, not even just modern women, and that has no bearing on whether or not they get married. In fact, if anything, we're talking about the married women, right? Whereas in men's body count's much lower, a lifetime body count, because it's just harder for men, right? Let's be real. So, you know, we know that it's not true. Like, we know that it's not true that, oh, that's the body count, whatever, right? We know that it's not true that, oh, well, Muslim women or women from these different countries, they're just better women. Like, we know that that's not the truth, right? We know that it's not. But this is the problem. They give us the evidence, man. They gave us the evidence, right? Like, what do you do? What do you do when someone who's pretty famous goes viral for proving, like, you know what? It's like, what is that porn star's name? You know, she's been in the news for like everything lately. Like, first there she was talking about the kind of scenes she had to do and how she, like, they were like gross or whatever, and she didn't like that, and then she got pregnant, and now she's like a mom.
Oh, Lana Rhodes or whatever.
Yes.
She was with Mike from the Impulsive podcast.
Okay, yes, right. So Lana Rhodes to me is the exact kind of evidence that we kind of need, that no, these narratives are all BS, right? Like, dude, she did what she did, right? It's a career move. You know, she made a lot of career moves. Maybe some of them she regrets, some of them she doesn't, whatever it is, what it is. Now she's done, she puts that aside, and she's more than ready to be a wife and mother, right? It didn't change her desire to be those things or her effectiveness at being a mom. Like, it didn't change anything, right? So we get the Lana Rhodes, we go, people are like, oh, but no one would want to choose her. That's fine. I'm not talking about men. I'm just talking about from the woman's side, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with her. Why would you not want to? You don't want to choose her because you think she slept with too many people or the videos about her. Fine, right? But you can't say, oh, I think she'd be a terrible mom or a terrible woman, or she would hate men, or she can't pair bond, because she's shown none of that evidence, right? Whereas in Mia Khalifa, well, she's showing that evidence. I'm not gonna lie, she's showing the evidence. So
yeah, you just a taught to her that she just want to have fun with it, and she throw you away when she bored. What's like they did Woody when he got the Buzz Lightyear? She's looking for a new Buzz Lightyear. Throw Woody out. Sometimes she might just keep you in the tuck though. She keep you in the box just in case she needs you back. Oh, that's my ex-husband. I mean, he was fun just in case the new one act up. So you gotta be careful, people that treat people like toys, and that's just anybody.
Exactly. So I mean, I will say, I think that the healthiest thing is probably a balance between these two messages a little bit, right? I'm not saying you should be stuck in marriages. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, oh, just be stuck in marriages, can't leave no matter what and whatever, because you said for better or worse, so right? But I do think, no, you should, take marriage vows seriously, and it's not just dating, right? So the second you don't like something about someone when you're dating, you leave. Fine. But marriage is supposed to be more serious and sacred than that, right? There's supposed to be more effort put into it. More, hey, listen, we've hit the depths of despair, but that's okay, because that's for better or worse. We've hit it worse. Now we're both supposed to invest fully into trying to get to best or better again, right? And I think that's the part that's kind of missing. And I think a second part that's kind of missing is the entitlement of I deserve, I want, I deserve, me, right? And whereas in, I think in a healthy marriage, healthy relationship, you're constantly looking at your spouse, your significant other, and you're saying, listen, what I feel good when I've fulfilled you, right? And they're saying the same thing back, and you have, the evenness. And yeah, there's going to be low moments. Yeah, there's going to be times where maybe you want to walk away for a minute, or you're angry, or you're whatever, right? But like, Mia Khalifa didn't say anything about, oh, I was abused, or, she didn't bring up something like she got treated terribly, something horrible happened, she was cheated on, he had a baby on her. You know what I mean? She didn't bring up like these huge things, right? She made it sound like a game. I married this one, I got bored. So then I married that one, I got bored. I got engaged to this one, got bored. Like that's what she made it sound like, right? She didn't. If it was I walked away because of bad things, I'd be like, all right, I get it. But that's not what happened. And she's proud of herself too. You're the Tom Brady of this ish. Like, okay, Brittany Renner 2.0, good job. Like Brittany Renner realizes that what she was doing was dumb, is not help serving her, and she's changed up her entire message. So what's happening?
By the way, I see y'all in her comment. All y'all do is they be dissing on them show. I see y'all in the comment. She gave that dude that look at that Rolling Loud, and y'all started like, I ain't gonna lie, risk. I saw you. You was in both comments. You was on them red pill dude comment, and you was here. I saw you. Y'all keep saying nobody date her, and then she give you that look. Y'all all for. I ain't gonna. I see it. Don't lie. Hey, when a pretty girl give you that look, people dudes foes. I can't. They just like to lie and pretend on the internet because it look cool. I'll never date this girl. I bet she look at you crazy. Go for. She ain't even all that. Oh, I done seen some of the strongest folks. Why you think me and Khalifa keep getting married?
I'm just saying. I mean, I think that's another point, right? Is if marriage just didn't mean anything, then why do you keep getting engaged and getting married?
She trying to get the rings. How many times got? 7?
Yeah, but she didn't say she's done now. So she's just lying to everyone else. She wants everyone else to believe her nonsense, but she's not living her life like that. Like, obviously, like for you to have gotten married that many times in your 20s, girl, please. We're supposed to believe you, really.
Yeah, but she either sees dudes as toys or she's crazy and they leave her. I don't know which one it is. I ain't studied up, but you do have to be careful now. You do have to be careful.
And I think Rosalind makes a good point, right? And I mean, this is a huge point actually, is that a lot of those men, whether or not they want to admit it or not, they don't want to deal with women who have worked in the sex industry anywhere because of their own personal insecurities, right? So like I said, there are ones certainly that are thinking about, well, you have 500 porn videos and my uncle and my cousins and everyone who I've ever known will be able to watch you in those videos, right? That is a problem for some. But, there's many other areas of sex trade and a lot of the rest of them where there is none of that, right? The men are still, some of these men are really insecure about it. And it has to do with being compared. It really does. And that's why they can't conceive of someone like, say, Destiny, or Adam 22. They can't conceive of those guys being okay with their woman sleeping with someone else or also, being a porn star or whatever. They can't work with it in their heads because they're so insecure. So like, no, I could never trust that woman. I could never love that woman. I could never want to have kids with that woman. I could never look at her the same. I could never, because they're insecure with what they're working with. Whereas you get people like Adam 22 and Destiny, and they're very secure with what they're working with. So they could not care less. Right? Like they're good. They're no problem at all. I'll even, I'm gonna give Sneeko credit. To Sneeko's credit, he must have been secure enough with what he was working with, right? Because he had no problem allowing his ex sleep with someone else. Like he had no problem. That means he was very secure with what he was working with, right? He had no problem. Like his issue was like watching it happen. He couldn't follow through. It was a whole mind thing for him, right? But the issue was never for him like an insecurity factor for him. In fact, he thought it's only fair. If he wants to sleep around, she should be able to sleep around, right? And that's what Destiny said also. Well, I like sleeping around. So my wife wants to sleep around. I co-sign that. So we can both sleep around, right? That means you have to be very confident with what you're working with. I have a feeling like if you were like, I have a feeling there's no way, no, it's true, right? I have a feeling there's no way you would be okay with dating someone in the sex trade or with, having a more open relationship or whatever, right? Like it's a security thing. I think for men, it's mostly a security thing. Yeah.
And like I said, I'm gonna be honest with you, it ain't nothing wrong with insecure. Insecurity is a normal human emotion. That is a normal. Hey, listen, if you insecure, it ain't don't make you no weak beta male or something. Everybody like, I ain't insecure. Yes, you are. You are very insecure. That's why you talk about BBC every time and Pookie and Ray Ray every time you talk. You speak every day. You come on YouTube or you go somewhere or Twitter and you talk about Pookie, Ray Ray, BBC, all that. You obsessed with it, dog. I have never talked about that in my life. I don't care. And the reason you obsessed with it, because you are insecure. And that's all right. Human nature is to be insecure. It's all right. You can be insecure.
That is true.
Like everybody's insecure. It's insecurity is everybody. It might not be in that field, but somebody might be insecure if you say this or you touch that one spot, even if people not aware of it. Some people it's their family. Like, listen, don't talk about my family or something like that. Don't talk about my job, how I do at work. Everybody's usually insecure about something, usually.
Yeah, to some extent. I think, well, there's a thing, and I was having this discussion again on gray pills. It was on Tuesday. And Inky and I were disagreeing. And I was just like, because she was basically saying that, the women that she knows that work in sex trade, they're not insecure at all. And I was like, see, my problem with that is that, generally when we're talking about security, because that's why there's a difference between confident and insecure, right? Human security, so therefore human insecurity, is different than self-confidence or self-worth or self-esteem. These are all different things, but I think some people think of them as being interchangeable, where they're not. I think every human has insecurities. Some of them are pathological, some of them are not, but like as humans in general, we have those insecurities, right? And it starts with, like, if you don't have access to food, that's an insecurity. If you don't have access to shelter, that's an insecurity. If you don't have access to love, belonging, acceptance, safety, these are all insecurities that you can have just as a human. Esteem, like stability, these are all human things. And so if you're lacking even one of them, then you have an insecurity, and it's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with having insecurities. It becomes something wrong when we refuse to own it, and then we refuse to own when it's been pathologized, and we refuse to work through the issues, or we start projecting those issues onto other people instead of realizing, hey, I gotta own my own stuff here. I gotta work through my own stuff, right? So, like, when men want to project their issues onto their girlfriend, so much so, Jonah Hill, that if your woman who's a surfer is surfing and then she's in the water on her surfboard and there's a man who tries to say hi, she has to go, I have a boyfriend. I don't talk to random men, and swim away immediately. Otherwise, your poor fragile ego just can't take it. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a lot of people get insecure. You hear people, oh, my boy, I want my man. What's the saying? What's the one that women use now? I want my man rude to other women. He has to be rude.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my man gotta be shy and private and rude to other women. I'm like, oh, that is also insecurity.
Very.
I'm like, why does he have to be mean to every woman you see? So it's the same thing, Jonah Hill. It's the same. It's I saw that's been trending a little bit lately more. But you start seeing those things, and like I said, listen, you might feel like you got a good dude and you don't want to lose him, so your insecurity might, where you normally don't be as insecure, might rise a little bit. Sometimes it gets irrational and probably overbearing, but it's the insecurity. Like, I don't want to lose this. So, like we talked about with the Lizzo situation. Somebody like, oh, this is a guy with good money, good pay. I really don't want to do this, but I don't want to lose this spot because it might catapult me into something else, and I want this bad. So I'm willing to do things I don't want to do it. That is also insecurity. Like, I'm willing to do things I hate, despise, not in my moral character to do, to gain something, because I don't want to lose that opportunity. I'm not thinking there's another opportunity that's coming down the road because I'm talented. This is my one shot.
Pretty much, yeah.
So it's not just like when people say insecurity, it's a lot of different types of insecurities. And we all have, a lot of people don't want to admit it, but we all have them. And sometimes you have to work through them to better yourself as a person. Like, so like I said, if you're scared that your boyfriend or girlfriend is talking to any other human being that's of the same sex, you have something you need to work on.
Facts. Absolute facts.
But like I said, if anybody else wanted a discussion, we'll probably be winding it up. But the link is in the.
No, they already missed their shot. We're winding up now.
So Ruben said we wound up. Boss said we wound up. So we wound up.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, no, we're done. The conversation's over. If you wanted a chance, you already lost it. Sorry, Ruby doesn't work on her birthday. This was very difficult for me to come here today. But I loved y'all enough And so we came. We saw, we conquered, and Ruby's going back to celebrating her eternal birthday season. Thanks.
Happy birthday season to us.
Thank you. Yes, right? Yes, likewise. Yes. Quite, yes.
Thanks to everybody in the chat. Then TZ, Rosalind, Mama Bell, everybody that showed up in chat. Char, Vondo's here early, DJ Music, everybody. I appreciate y'all for coming. Thank y'all. Peace.
Cheers, y'all.